evening, everyone, and welcome to Power for Living Presents His and Hers when Monday Matters. I'm Tanisha,
And I'm Will.
and today we're going to discuss a miscellany of topics from money matters to marriage matters and everything in between because you matter. Tonight we are discussing. Tonight we're discussing a topic that doesn't get a lot of attention, and that is men's mental health.
June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We wanted to have a real conversation about what men carry, what they hide, and why so many suffer.
So, if you're joining us live, want to hear from you, men. What is one thing you wish people understood about the pressures you face? Ladies, what is one thing you've learned about supporting the men in your life?
Comments, because tonight's conversation is for all of us. As we know, Monday is when life gets real. The weekend is over. The responsibilities are waiting. The bills still need to be paid. The family still needs support, and the job still needs your attention. Many every Monday carrying invisible weight. Some carry financial pressure. Some carry family pressure. Some carry emotional wounds that nobody even knows about. Tonight, we're asking a simple question: who's checking on the men? Because even the strongest people get tired.
Okay, so today's guest we have back with us again, Deon Harper. Deon,
My God.
Yes,
introduce yourself, Deon, to the people.
All right. Once again, my name is Deon Terrell Harper, whole government. I am. I've worked in the healthcare field for 24 years. Graduate of my 2002, and in the therapy scene, physical therapy, and realms beyond, inside the hospital and out.
Okay, we're happy to have you here, Deon, as our kind of like professional. So our first question is, what pressures do men face today? And I've got 3 men in the studio with me, so I can give my opinion, but I'd like to hear what y'all have to say.
um,
Hold up, I want to hear her opinion first, and then we respond on top of that.
Okay.
all right, ladies first.
Okay. So some of the pressures I feel like men face today is uh first of all, being a man, like it's so much stuff that's like, oh, well, you a man, you should be able to do this. You should be able to reach the top. You should be able to be this strong. You should be able to do these things. You should be able to carry the family. You should be able to be the spiritual guy. You should be able to be all these things. I mean, and I know that women have their things that they should be able to do too. But sometimes I feel like that's a lot. That's heavy, like to be that person. So, like in my own um, life, I feel like the pressure would be to provide, like to be able to provide and sustain a family, and that's like taking care of all of the things. I just saw a TikTok where the pastor was teaching a group of men, and he was like, "I know me and you feel like that." The women's job is to cook and clean, and you are to do this and the manly things, the traditional roles. And he was like, actually, no, your job is to do all the things. He was like, your job is to do all the things. Now, if she wants to come along and help you, that's great. But Jordan, I mean, I was like, dang, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure to be like, your job is to do all the things. And if I decide to come along and help because I'm going to help me. So like, I was like, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I understood what he was saying, but it still was like, dang, that's a lot to put on one person. I thank God that my husband leans on God for all those things. And I know that that's still pressure though, but that's my opinion as far as what the pressures that men face today.
That's good. I heard that conversation or something similar. But it was like you said, biblically based, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's good. Let's turn to our expert, Dr. Harper. No.
Well, maybe one day, not right now though. Oh well, the pressures the pressures that a lot of men face are a lot of things that you can't even really talk about and or discuss. It's a lot of the stuff that society just kind of expects you to handle. It expects you to be able to take this, do this, and do that. But at the end of the day, if we keep it simple, who's really checking on the man?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's and you know there are certain smaller spaces and circles and some guys who have like those circles. That's why it's a huge thing now when you see society as a whole kind of coming together where guys are getting together as friends and everything and having that support group, because that's not always a thing.
That's right.
And just to be and just to have that level matters.
Good. That's good. And for me, I agree with both of you said. The pressures that men face today, I think, is to be that provider, right? I'm just thinking about our culture now, right? And that's kind of where it's at. A lot of times you hear women say, "I am the table," right?
I don't agree with that.
Yep.
I am a feminist, but I don't agree with that.
But yeah, as a man, you're expected to have certain things. And I think just in my life, especially growing up in Flint, that expectation to have forced people to get in areas that they don't belong in. That's forced men to sell drugs and forced men to do other different activities because you don't want to be the man that doesn't have a car or a home or things that type of thing. Because really, all men want to do is impress women, right? To a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the things that society tell you that you need to have to impress women.
I remember asking a question, and I've asked this question probably 1,000 times to across my clientele over the years I've been in therapy. I said, if you wanted to change an entire society, but you could only you wanted to change an entire society by starting with the babies and downloading, kind of just like a computer, being able to download all the things that they're supposed to do the right way at the right time and so on and so forth, where they're not going to veer from it. What gender would you choose and why? So you only get to choose one gender to change that entire generation. And I said that, and my answer to that, and I've heard a million different accounts. My answer was always, always the young ladies.
Okay.
Going back to what you just said, because ever since I was young, I've been doing things in order to please and or satisfy a woman. It just starts with your mother and your aunts and everything else. And everything's you coming up, you get told how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
Don't do your sister like that. Hold that door for her. You do this, you do that. But I don't think it happens the other way around. But to keep that focus, that's what we kind of come up with, and we start building on that. Then you turn into a man. Then you turn from a young boy to a man, and you're still fighting that. You're still trying to play that mold.
That's right.
And you get stuck in that cycle. And like you said, it kind of goes to where you kind of do what you have to do in order to keep that, but you don't really have what you need to do it.
That's right.
Per se.
That's good. George, you want to weigh in on that question?
Thanks for asking. So what do men go through?
What pressures do men face today?
What pressures do men face? Everything, and I think it's levels to it. Also, it's scalable to each ethnic group in this country. You know, like we're looking at a complete I don't know how to say it, but the white guys in this country right now, they having an ego trip.
Oh yeah.
And it's because people ignored them, because folks like us, black folks, we were getting our equal and due rights to be human. And that did something to the economically disadvantaged white man, because nobody saw their pain and their issues. So now it's like we get to be seen. And we don't care how y'all feel, because y'all, but the black folks didn't put the problem on the white man. Right. The system put the problem on the white man, and it segregated the white from the black to say that you got to point your finger at the black man, even if he had nothing to do with that. He was in Florida. The crime happened in Alaska, but it's still his fault. And so the system has done a great job at that. And now people are just... strategic thinking hasn't been a part of what our American society has done in the last 20 years. Critical thinking has not been something that's been on the ballot of how we make our decisions. And so now these emotions and feelings and these things that are trivial to our future is creating something that's going to end up being a civil war real soon if we continue to have these disheartening issues that we're having. Like we had this Asian man that just he slaughtered this black young man, regardless of what the behavior of rebellion was. It wasn't a violence. It was a behavior of rebellion, not violence. And so you get away with murder for that. And then now you have folks that are telling one side of a story that's a tragic story of a young black man that is being thrown as an example in a system that really doesn't give you opportunity. But what I'm saying is that what men go through are being used and abused, and the examples and the things that are stretched and pulled to create whatever environment those that are in control have.
That's good. That. So,
Yep.
so if I could sum that up, because that was a lot, but it was good. What I took from that was the system. The pressure that men face today is the system, all across the board. That's good.
I wanted to say something to what you said, Deon, as far as being a young boy and how your parents are like, well, you don't treat your sister this way and you don't do that, and there's nothing that women have to do according to like how to treat a boy or a man. And I think in my experience, I'm the only child, but in my experience I've seen them do the very thing that has you guys bound right now, and that's kind of like a don't pick him up, let him cry. He got his man up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we was taught. Like, don't let him play with that doll. You'll make him soft. Like things that's going to make y'all soft. Don't do that. Don't hug him. Don't kiss him. Don't play with him like that. Don't hold him on your hip like that because that's going to make him away. You know what I'm saying? It was all like to keep you all in that masculinity or what we thought was a masculinity box. So it was kind of like from the jump, you weren't when you were programmed, like y'all programmed to treat us daintily. We were programmed for not to treat y'all daintily.
Absolutely.
That's good. The next question, and we kind of talked about this, but let's dig a little deep. Are men valued more for what they provide than for who they are?
Men most definitely are. They most definitely are treated that way because of what they can provide and for who they are. Because to be honest with you, if we wanted to tap into a lot of times, what you find is a lot of men as they age and they kind of get stuck in that family circle. You're raising your family, you're doing your thing. You kind of don't really even know who you are. Simply because you are stuck in, I'm gonna call it production mode. You have to provide, you have to do this, you have to do that. So there's a lot of things that you kind of don't get to really indulge in on yourself, because if you do, it's looked at as counterproductive, or you can't do this and you can't do that, and that sort of thing. So I think most men get stuck in that, and we are looked at more so as what we can provide, and as a society as a whole, not just from employers, our friends, and everything else, but our families, spouses, and children as well.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Matchy. Matchy said, unfortunately, what they provide. Yeah, I think so. I think about the times where I was working 2 jobs and you didn't have no job. But during that time, you had this side hustle. You felt like you had to do something. You created your whole business, B&D's barbecue and all that stuff. And even in that, it was like, well, he ain't working, but he doing this. It could have never been like, well, he ain't working. Let him have a mental break. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't working. Let him have time to just chill for a minute. Right. It was all like, no, he got to be doing something. And you put that on yourself to have to be doing something. But anytime that anybody would say anything like, oh, well, he ain't working, it will always still be like, well, DC doing something, like he ain't working, but he bringing. We got this everyday money now, where you gotta wait every 2 weeks for my check. It's just some everyday money. Okay, we can get to that. And we got Lovely Mama 81. That is Nisha. Yes, and I remember reading a post that said, ladies, not men, but ladies, teach your sons how to provide, because my daughter don't do 50-50. my answer was,
Wow.
what did you teach your daughter, and how are you teaching her to be a woman, to take care of her own, to take care of her man?
Come on.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good, Nisha.
And let me tell you, we have a lot of good stuff going on this Out of the Mud platform. Thanks to James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, George F. Grundy, and our guy, Larry Lott. We thank you for this Out of the Mud Inc. platform where a lot of good things are happening here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. That's good what you just said, Nisha, because I think that's a conversation everybody's having with that 50-50 kind of deal. And I go off script all the time. That's not something that what do you guys think about that? Should a relationship be 50-50 or 100-100?
In my mind, I'm gonna say 100 because when I'm thinking about it, it makes sense to me because it's you both show up whole.
That's right.
You both show up whole. You both show up ready to give, receive, and provide. That's because each one has to provide. Each person has to provide something, and that's that. Again, we can spin that back around the block, back around to the men's health part. It's that kind of framework and that kind of thinking that actually puts a lot of pressure on men, family, and even men that don't necessarily have families. You still got your family.
That's right.
You still got your brothers, your sister, your mom,
That's
your
right.
dad, and even if you got kids, you got all of those different relationships you have to foster, and all of those relationships have different rules.
That's right.
As a man, and all those rules are crazy to have to follow, but when you really look at it, we're the only gender that really kind of has that.
That's true.
Between men and women.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree to come in 100 and 100, but I also agree that that is it's not linear. Is that the word I'm looking for? Because it's gonna change. It's gonna, like, okay, like talking about the time when were unemployed, you may have felt like half a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I had to be 150, you might have felt lower. Or that time where, like, right now, I have my own business, but it's not lucrative right now. So am I giving 100? You know what I'm saying? Or do you have to sometimes pick up that slack and do 110 where so I think it's gonna change, but can I give 100% of myself? Okay, I'm not bringing 100% financially, but I'm giving you 100% in other areas. And Nisha said, you can't come in half a person.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to be
Right.
whole. Next question. Do men feel responsible for everyone else's well-being? Kind of what we just talked about a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like real men probably do. And that may be a sexist thing to say, but then also I feel like sometimes a man will be like, I got the boys, you got the girl. You know, like, if you ain't like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a old school way of being coming up. That's essentially how what I remember as my dad got older and me and him kind of started to have these conversations. That's kind of what he told me. And he was kind of like he was feeling some type of way about, because I lost a baby sister, and I also lost my dad in the same year.
Wow.
So with Father's Day coming around the corner, this is huge.
Yeah.
But he died of renal failure, and it came from him basically over a big span of years not really taking care of himself, which was a choice,
Right.
and which is kind of the key of where I am and who I am and what I do and what I'm trying to help spread. But him not taking care of himself, and then that actually ended up costing him in the long run. And he actually and me and him talking after he got sick, because he opened up a whole lot more, because he held in a lot, and that actually ended up costing him his health. And so not having anybody to talk to, and so by the time he was able to talk to me and tell me about those things, it was like, oh wow, but it was too late for him, but it wasn't for me.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good. And that brings us to something that's kind of segue to the next thing. Why do men stay silent? Why don't we ask for help?
Go ahead, George.
Because ain't nobody gonna save you, and nobody cares.
I think that men's mental health got a lot to do with the physical health. Like the reason why your dad didn't talk about things, or y'all don't ever go to the doctor. It's like we can handle it. It's, I'll be all right. I ain't gotta do that. That's weak. That's money I gotta spend. No, I'm just gonna put some Vicks on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Drink some water.
Right.
Drink some water.
If I could add to that, so my business partner James, he said one time, who does the help go to when they the help?
That's right.
There you go.
So when you are the last in your circle, you're the final boss. Like if you go down, everybody done.
Last line of defense.
Who do you go to? Who do you act like? God, I'm looking for you. You know this bill due tomorrow, and I don't know what I'm about to do. And I got these 10 kids and his wife and all this other stuff and these bills and these. Who do you go to? So men, like my father, I'm thankful I still have my father. He's the type that everything is his responsibility. It's nothing that is like he's covering the whole everything, and he's the final boss of everything. And it's like, when I look back at what he's covered, it's like, dude, you a real one.
Yeah.
So most men that I have come across that have influenced me, that are very impactful in their part of the community, they cover everything. And there's nobody to run to. They just got to work an extra shift, figure out how to hustle some money up this kind of way, whatever. And then that miracle stuff happens where they have friends, they have associates that see and not just look, but like, hey, bro, I'm about to come over.
Yeah.
Right.
And is unknown. You don't have to add a conversation. They already see. They know what's going on, because it's like this telepathy that certain men from the generation of my father and stuff like that had. They're like, we just about to help, or I'm about to slide you this 100. And don't ask me about it.
Right. Right.
Right. So, however, but that's something that we should not, and hopefully it doesn't go waste or lose. But men don't have nobody. It's like you. It's like having that nod and understanding when you in a community, whether it be Asian or Mexican or white, and you just nod with that other black person. It's an understanding.
Right. That's good. Jamaja said, let's not put a number value on it. Sometimes my mate or myself can't give 100%. The question is, how can we show up when the other can't? That's good. That's what Nisha said above that. That's that help me part, right?
Right.
Jamaja said they were taught not to, that is, share their emotions. They always had to figure it out, which is why, as a woman and our mate, our role is crucial. That's true.
Yeah, and I think to speak to what Mr. G just said, he said a lot. Basically, we need the understanding of everybody, not just women but other men as well, because it's truly a systemic way of thinking, and it's something that kind of needs to be broken. So for you to actually speak out and say, man, you know what, I'm struggling with this today. I just need to, but you can't do that. You know what I mean? But and then if you do that, you might get judgment or get teased from one way or the other. Right. And what man wants to go through that? Nobody really wants to go through that.
That's good.
But at the end of the day, we're the only gender group that really goes through that, because a woman can say, I'm having a bad day, I don't feel like it today, and everybody understands it.
That's right.
But if a man says that, it's placed that, how you just go, hold on.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like, okay, two things I want to say. That it takes a strong man to say, hey, look, this bill due, I ain't really got it. Wife, the son, y'all, I need all of y'all to pitch in. we need to get this done. You don't have to carry that on your own. You got a whole family. Then also, like, okay, you say a woman really can't do that. I mean, women can say, well, I'm having a bad day. She can say it, but it don't make a difference, because the kids still gonna come and be like, I need. The husband still gonna say, I'm having a bad day, but I still gotta go do this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? I might get a little leeway, like, oh, she menopause, she tripping, having a bad day. I know this is all about y'all, so I'm not trying to push it on what on me. But I just want y'all to know that even though it seems like we are able to have those bad days, or she's on her period, or mommy's going through, mommy still gotta cook, mommy still gotta get up, mommy still ain't nobody like, well, have a bad day, lay down, honey, I'll cook. Nah, but what you gonna cook? You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta cook much, just cook a little bit.
I think the difference is the support after that, right? You got a sister. It's a sister circle always waiting to be able to support when men don't always have that.
So I'm gonna take it back to my great in Alabama. He was a moonshiner, and during the Depression, and nobody was coming to save you during the Great Depression.
Right.
The banks was taking the houses from everybody around there, and he was one of the few people that was purchasing his neighbors' houses, allowing them to stay in their houses, but the deeds was his. And so, as a man, as the last one, the resort, because I'm like this, and this is a side story. I believe in organized crime, because it's something that a certain part of our community needs to have. The Jewish people have their mobsters, Irish people have their mobsters, Japanese and all types of Asia have their mobs, and they learned a lot of their mob stuff from what we had to do, from the deacons of defense and so on and so forth, and the number game, and that turned into the lot. And I believe in it because it kept us, it gave us the ability to be talking about what we're talking about now. Because somebody says, I may not make it tonight, but my family gonna make it. That's good. And so you, in some points of it, somebody's gonna have to make a decision that's not based on, I just want to make money. No, I just want to survive. Now, if it's not me that makes it to the mountaintop, my son or my daughter, they gonna make it. And I'm gonna make sure that everybody understand if they do something, all those different things. We all had those stories that our grandparents, great grandparents, or somebody in before us did something for us to get here, to stay here, to be talking about this. And so I'm like, those men, they literally didn't have nothing that they could go to or help, because you had the Klan coming after them, you had all kinds of government issues. And you're talking about a Great Depression where people was literally selling their children.
Yeah. Jump on that train. Maybe we see you again, maybe we won't.
So what do you do? Like, you gonna sell one of your 6 kids, or I'm about to sell this moonshine, and we about to move this weight and liquor, because my kids ain't going nowhere.
That's good. So Incredible Hulk, this guy's checking in. He said to create a safe place is the purpose of most women, but when men create a safe place, it's all Diddy. But to have a person try to call on their village, it gets more point out as weak when men say it. No Diddy. Then just say, what about crime? Crime is good. Now I understand and agree that some type of law breaking was very necessary due to the situation we were placed in.
To say with George, though, I do agree about this. Might be off subject, but I do agree with you as far as organized crime. For my reason being is crime is going to happen anyway. But when it was organized, it was a code. You don't do that. You take care of Miss Johnson. You leave them little kids alone. You ain't shooting up over here in this neighborhood. It was a code to live by, and I like that. Now it's like we gonna have crime, but ain't nobody safe.
Wow.
No organization, no structure. It's just people doing whatever.
So if they gonna do it, we might as well have a boss, a little system, a little.
Listen, we got a boss on the chat right now. Tommy Boy said he got 2 cousins for sale. Right now.
Wow.
And all I'm saying, without the organized crime, the Klan would have got more of us.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's very true. And then I always go back to how our neighborhoods were. I think the last time black neighborhoods thrived was when we had the Panthers in.
Oh yeah.
They were so organized crime that the CIA started behind them.
Right?
But they weren't even criminals.
They weren't criminals, right?
They were
so
created
organized
to be criminals. They followed the law. They made a breakfast, a food system that's being used to this day.
Right.
That the Mott Foundation is using pieces of it, and others like them. And then you change a whole state law because they legally had their Second Amendment. Like, hey, we right here. What in Jesus Christ, the baby and the grown-up are you guys doing?
Right.
Our rights.
Right.
This guy said, Deon, Will, and Mrs. Buford, hello. And greetings, George. Tommy Boy, he asking you, can he rent one of them cousins from you? He got the money to sell. Rent one.
Leasing out the loved ones.
All right. So, do you, and put this in the chat, Do you think society encourages men to talk about their feelings?
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
What about more so now though? Like now it's kind of opening the door with, men matter.
I mean, it's definitely a little bit more seen now, but it's still not. It's way overdue. Let's put it that way. It's way overdue, and it's not enough to where it's actually making a difference at all. Because you often get like you starting to see people talk about, well, uh dudes out here getting sassy now. They want to be treated like women. No, men just want to be treated with the same respect that they're treating everybody else by.
Yeah.
It's reciprocity. We carry this code with us where we're gonna honor XYZ ABC, and then you got a lot of men and a lot of young men that's coming up now that don't honor and respect nothing.
That's right.
And that's because they seen men get treated, good men that are handling their business, men that are doing what they're supposed to do. And like you said, through suppression, depression, and everything, but they didn't see them get treated like crap. So they're like, why do I want to be like that?
Yeah.
I'm finna go do this. I don't want to be a provider. I don't want to be none of that because I seen how a provider gets treated. So I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then the crazy part about it is, in some ways, if you kind of look at the big picture, the ones who don't provide get treated better. That's a whole nother topic, though.
Yeah, that is a whole nother
That's a whole nother topic.
That is a whole nother topic.
We got Tommy Boy said, I love you guys. We love you too. Deon, we already read that one. Def not unless you tickle pink. LMAO or Diddy. I don't get it. Definitely facts, Deon. Plus, we just want the respect and fair treatment. It's just men.
That's good.
That's good.
Go ahead. Tommy Boy said J. Edgar Hoover used a mob member to find the 3 freedom riders they killed in the South. That's good. Way better, bro. Okay. I'm not sure what that was going to, but all right. So on Monday Matters, we definitely want to run everything. We run everything through our faith lens. And so in 1 Kings 19, Elijah, after defeating the prophets of Baal, Elijah became exhausted, fearful, isolated, and discouraged. God's answer wasn't criticism. God provided for him rest, food, comfort, direction, and purpose.
So sometimes even God's strongest servants become overwhelmed. Elijah was a boss. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the main prophet.
Yes, he was.
But he had got scared. Like, he had a lot of stuff going on where he was maybe considered weak to some people, like, oh, you doing this, you doing that, hiding and everything, and scared that I'm trying to remember the scripture. Who was it? The woman, Jezebel, was gonna have her people or whatever come for him, and he was scared and he was hiding up under the tree and all those things.
Right.
But yeah. So even God, he didn't come at him like, yeah, you need to get up. You the prophet. You weak. Get up, man up. You got me. He didn't. He provided rest, food, comfort, direction, and purpose. So yeah, sometimes even God's strongest servants become overwhelmed, and that's okay. Yeah, David was another one.
I often say this too. When people ask me about a marriage advice and how it works, I say you gotta be like Jesus. He died to himself for the church. Like, I don't know if that's healthy or not, but it's definitely, but it's definitely how I take it, right? But then I'm a veteran too, so I signed up to die in service for this country. Why couldn't I do it for my family as well and to myself, right? But in that, what I find and what I found is when I take that mentality, that servant first mentality, just like what Elijah, God provides for me.
Absolutely.
That's good.
That's real good.
Yeah. So on the news, Incredible Hulk, this guy, men don't get or able to share our true feelings unless we are gay.
Wow.
But that I think that's funny, but it's something in that too. I like to come back to. And then he also said isolation and being on a solo journey give you the chance to either discover or rediscover your gift and or purpose. But to hear the value of your worth is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Right.
it is. Yes,
That's
it is.
good.
Make you want to
Absolutely.
go more harder and stronger when you hear,
Absolutely.
when you appreciate it, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like y'all get criticized for showing y'all feelings,
Yeah.
but I think it's only because y'all let it build up to the point now it's aggression. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, if you had been like from the beginning, like, hey, I'm not feeling like blah blah blah,
Yeah,
but instead you done held it in, so now you are like, ah, 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 now you out of control, you're aggressive. You know, like,
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know she's talking about our household.
Right.
I did not say that.
I could
Right.
be.
But what you was gonna say something?
I've seen that go both ways though.
Mhm.
I've seen that go both ways where it wasn't aggressive. It was just open. Because
Yeah.
in my situation, I was always taught to be kind of even keel, and even being even keel and having to keep your composure, that takes a lot of suppression.
Yes, it
And a
does.
lot of people don't necessarily do that because we have to be able to take 8 paragraphs of information and condense it down to one because we got a decision and we got stuff to do and we got things to move. And at the end of the day, that takes a whole lot out of us.
Yeah, it does.
And it's hard to, and once you start expressing yourself, it turns into, well, why are you saying that? You know what I mean? Or you're not supposed to be saying anything because that's our spot.
Right.
So, and a lot of men just kind of in communication, even in any kind of relationship, whether it's friends or anything, if I'm trying to convey something to you and it's not being received, and I done took it and spun it 4 different ways, and you still not getting it, what's the next thing we gonna do?
That's right.
You shut down.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. No, not even agree to disagree. You just give up on trying to express it.
That's what George said earlier when he said they don't care. People
Yeah.
don't care.
Right.
Right. That's what you feel like. Like, why don't nobody care?
Yeah. And you just left to eat it by yourself, and then you got to sit with it.
You know, when I said don't nobody care, it just reminded me because I work with young people. I've seen so many young boys say that. You know what I mean? Like kind of in the disheveled. I'm seeing in the gym, like, don't nobody care. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a family dynamic as well, but it starts really young. I've seen young girls say it as well, to be fair. Still gay, is what Mike said. Whether aggressive or calmly say, I'm hurting or whatnot, bro. She going to say, or he may say, you gay, bro. Laughing my A off, but for real, because you soft or too sensitive, so they say. You're right. And then, like I said, going back to that, to the gay comment, right? I think a lot of, and that's right, that men,
that's a whole nother bag.
Yeah, that's a whole nother bag because they are allowed to be sensitive in that manner, right?
So we got right here real quick. I'm just gonna throw this out. David, we're talking about Psalms 42:5. I'm not gonna read it, but y'all can read it in your personal time. David openly expressed sadness, grief, fear, and discouragement. The Bible doesn't hide emotional struggles. The audience question is, which biblical figure do you relate to most? We don't have to do that either. When it comes to stress, anxiety, or discouragement, I guess it was David or Elijah. Like you want to hide, run away, or you just express your sadness, your grief, your fear, your discouragement. I guess that could be a question. So in your stressful situations, do you like tend to invert, or do you like go to your calm, quiet place, just want to shut down, or do you express like, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm upset, do you express your feelings?
That's a good question. I want to hear from the fellas before I weigh in.
Well, my initial response to that is to go to my quiet place. I just kind of bring it all in, simply because I don't want to be overly aggressive. I don't want to show that side. I want to show control and so on and so forth. It gets lost in translation when you actually need and you want that to be received, but it's not. So it's one of those things where you just we kind of solve in first and kind of sort things out. And a lot of people will take that as you don't care, you're not trying to figure it out, and it's just kind of like, okay, hold on, give me a minute, let me sort this out, and then, but that is also dangerous because if that's your norm, people will leave you there.
That's right.
And that kind of leads us to this, where we're at right now, essentially, because they're like, oh, he'll be all right. And nobody calls to check up on, nobody wants to see about, nobody just gives a text or a call or come in, you good? Let me holler. You know what I mean? Just to us. And 9 times out of 10, we might say, yeah, I'm straight. But nobody digs further.
That's right.
Because if it was the opposite, and yeah, I'm fine. No. We know that that's not true, but 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to do that extra digging if it's a man.
That's good.
That's true. We want to see what this guy funny. He our comic relief.
He said, love the represents. Y'all deep and dope. No Diddy or Cosby.
before he said, whether aggressive or calmly said, I'm hurting or whatnot, bruh, she going to say, or he may say, you gay, bro, LMAO, for real, because you soft or too sensitive, so they say.
All right, now we're looking at some solutions. Music and water helps me a lot, but I don't get instantly angry. But I say how and I feel, and for those that truly know me, know I talk rough, but from love. Definitely this guy. That's very true. George, you want to weigh in on that last question?
Break the question down one more time.
Was it my question?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you how do you relate more when it's when you are in that space? Do you tend to go and want to be alone, go inward and by yourself, or do you express how you feel? I know at one point you said nobody cares,
So it's levels to it for me. So it depends on what the issues are. So if I'm dealing with something and people are connected to it, I have to communicate. Because I don't want to hold nothing. The Flint I grew up in, when I became a young adult and an adult, I seen people die because of lack of communication. And that for me is like, I'm not going to be the reason why somebody can't figure something out that they need to because I didn't communicate it. Now, when it's me personally, and I hold a lot of stuff in, like I'm not gonna let people know that I got issues personally. Like I might whatever, but you're not gonna know. Because it's my problems, my issue. I got to deal with it. But if it's something that's connected to people in a relationship, like a woman, then I need to communicate because I need to know what's going on. Because my next steps is, if we can't talk, then what's the point? If we can't figure this out or work it out, or at least get to a point to where we can move forward tomorrow after we done calmed down, why are we talking? Why are we even in the room together?
Right.
And if it's a friend of mine, and I'm like, dude, this and this and this, yeah, you can hate me right now in the next week, but this is the situation. And I don't want to see you making bad decisions because you thinking that some information was withheld on my part that could have helped you. So it's levels to it for me.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
That leads me to the next question too. What makes a man feel emotionally safe?
I think providing that space, having those open conversations, maybe. But I this probably is. I think I'm supposed to ask you this. Okay. What makes a man feel emotionally safe?
Let's start with Deon.
I mean, generally speaking, because like I said, even in forums like such, we try to communicate in concentration, kind of like the condensed orange juice. You know what I mean? That makes more. It's only so we try to take a lot and make it a little. But what it turns into? Wait, give me that again.
What makes a man feel emotionally safe?
Just having a safe space to land. Just That's basically good. Having a safe space to land, knowing that he's heard, knowing that he's respected, knowing that his opinion matters, and what he's going through matters, and being able to relay what's going on with him and not have that judged, criticized, and or try to be fixed. Because sometimes we just want to take it all out of the backpack, set it on the table, and say, "Man," and have you leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I'm gonna reorganize it. I'm gonna put it back, and we gonna take care of it. But at the end of the day, that's not always the case, because somebody gonna have something to say about that. You can't put it on this table.
I got you.
Get it off this table. Why is that there? Well, let me take this, and it's, just give me a safe space to land and understand and be there for me. And if I need something, I know that I can come to you for that help. Whether it's a friend, whether it's your wife, whether it's family, because this structure isn't just about relationships. The mental things that men go through is global. It's every relationship, whether it's work, whether it's your wife, whether it's your kids, whether it's all of those things pull us, while all those other things have to get our attention. So it's kind of like a spark.
Yeah.
And so that's where we get stretched in. And then when you just get to the point, let me pose a question to the men, just side note. Have you ever just had a day where you just was spent to the point where you just was like, you was still, nothing to say, looking at the wall, just like, no words. Nobody really understands that. But when you have those days, and you have more than one, you got to push through that.
Yeah.
Because you got stuff to do. And while you're doing that, while you're pushing through that, you often incur more things. There's more stuff being put in the backpack. There's more stuff being put on the table.
Stop.
You know what I mean? And nobody is even checking to see if you are all right carrying that.
That's good. That's good. We got a couple.
Y'all watch The Shy?
Absolutely.
That men's group that they have. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's why it's on there.
And it's a safe.
That's why it's on
yeah.
there.
That's why it's on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead. This guy.
Oh, he's like, to feel safe is to have, first he said, LO, laughing, LMAO, bro. No need to say it like that, William. It's Willie. to express to a deaf ear on a regular makes you hold stuff in. But too much sharing is called bitching from a male. So it's a balance for real unless you want to die early. We as men need to have an outlet, definitely. And then he went on to say, to feel safe is to have a place where I can go and not be judged, nor forced to make our feelings fit into a box. To have a smile or should or whatever the emotion we may need is available, but not be judged. Nice way then. Coming from a woman, I've tried this time around to allow Terrell to have a safe space to talk to me about anything and not criticize him for not wanting to be or feel strong at that time. And also praying for him and making him aware that I am. And I tried to do that with my sons as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think what makes a man feel emotionally safe is very equivalent to what makes a woman feel emotionally safe. Right?
It just looks different.
Yeah. It's those same things, but it just looks different.
I don't know what emotionally safe is. I'm in a space to where the people I hang with are my parents. I'm still blessed with my parents. I've never been married. Don't have children that I know of. And the last relationship I was in, it caused me to want to just slow all the way down and not even think about no kind of relationship, nothing, because I helped raise children that wasn't mine, all this. So it's just like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, wow.
So it is what it is.
Ooh,
So you still have a really good relationship with your parents?
Oh yeah, those my people.
Or even with them, do you talk to them about what you're going through sometimes?
No, because we two different mindsets of solution.
Okay.
They're a Kojic, very Christian, stern direction, and I'm like, I just might.
Right.
Like, I believe, I understand, Lord, help me, but this person ain't gonna make it. Because I'm an Esther type. I'm like this. I don't like bullies. I don't like people picking on folks and they're trying to pick the good route. So I'm like, let me be a deacon of defense.
Right. Look at you creating emotional safety for somebody.
Right. Because if I can't have it, somebody need it.
That's
Mhm.
good.
And I
Right.
don't have a problem. I joined the military too. I didn't join it because I had some mental stuff and issues that I was dealing with and bloodlust that I had to get over.
That's right.
Because I grew up in this crazy environment called Flint.
I'm telling you.
You know, people threatening my life, and I ain't did nothing but told them to stop fighting.
Right.
Like, how you gonna what?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Right.
So now it's me or you because you embarrassed for some ignorant stuff you want to do, and I gotta worry about my life.
Right.
I'm going home. I don't know where you going,
Right.
heaven or hell, but I'm going home.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay, well, our next question, Deon, you kind of hit on a little bit, but what support looks helpful versus hurtful? Like, okay, you don't put the bag down, but here I am trying to go through it and get it off the table and do this, and that may not be what's needed right now. Just leave it. You'll come back to it. You just need to be able to have a safe place to land. I've been in a position before where I tried to do something that I thought was helpful and it ended up being hurtful. Like, oh, you don't want to hug right now. You don't want to cuddle right now. You don't want to hear me say these things right now. Right now, you just need a solution, or something to that extent. So the question is, what support looks helpful versus hurtful?
Before you go there, go.
Yeah.
Deon was saying some stuff.
Okay.
Or Mike. Yes, Deon, but couldn't stay that way. And no one ever really asked or cared for real but my grandma and my moms. My dad is finally coming around to give me a place to talk. He said, Ninja, so you know what a safe place is. Is your safe place? Crazy, man. You don't talk to anyone. You're an alien, bro. You can share with me, fam. No diddy. Let's start a place with us men right here and see what we can develop.
I like that. I love that.
That's dope.
So can I respond to
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I get what you're saying about my parents being a safe place, but they're I'm comfortable with my parents because they're my parents. But when it comes to me as a grown man and having a safe space, no, I don't know what that is, and I have to work on that. That's a me problem. So what do? I have a nonprofit that I started 11 years ago. So that's what causes me to speak to people is helping other people, doing things outside of myself. So I'm a weird person, or things about me may not be structurally how tradition or typical, in the understanding, and I'm okay with that. But as far as how I understood the question of a safe space, no, I don't. When it comes to relationships outside of my parents.
I think you was talking to me because I asked you that question.
Okay, I apologize.
So what was the question you just asked?
What support looks helpful versus hurtful?
I think it's different for everybody. I want to say that it's kind of unknown for a lot of men simply because you don't have the safe space to land that communication, or the people that like Mr. G said, people just don't care. So you can communicate it, say what you need, say how you want it, and all this other stuff, but people still gonna handle it or ignore it. They're not gonna treat it. They're not gonna treat it the way that you want it to be taken care of. So you can come in and say, "Hey, when I come home from, like, let's go tradition. We talking 60s. Come home from work, dinner should be ready. Da 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 da. Give me 10 minutes so that I can get myself together." And boom, boom, boom. That structure is no longer there because it's not going to be something that's going to be 100%. That man communicated that 100%, and there was once a system and a society that supported that. Systemically, they got rid of that, and now that you don't have that, and now if you got a man that is outside of normal, he's saying that he needs that, he's not getting that, and because he's not getting that, there's a lot of other stuff that falls under that umbrella. Because if he can't get what he communicated, and what he communicated is level 1, he's got 20 levels. He dang sure ain't finna ask you for 10 because he couldn't get 1. So that just goes in the basement. So that goes to that mental health part where we all got boxes in our head that we can't even unpack because there's no time to.
That's good. That's really good. Oh, there we go. He said, don't read the first comment. I'll type too fast. Just a willing participant is what a safe place looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Just a willing participant.
That's good.
This guy, and I type too fast. I get it. No, now, bro, for real. And to listen and understand is better than to listen to respond. My bad. And I think that's it.
Yes.
That's the
it.
key.
That's it.
Yeah.
Communicating to understand.
That's right.
Not just talking just to be in a room talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been in that situation. I think that goes both. That's general.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
all where men, women, everybody, we should listen to understand, not just to respond.
Not just to respond. Yeah, because a lot of time we're ready to respond. So we need to
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So this is flipping it around on
For
you,
the women.
Tanisha.
It's women.
The
Nisha,
women.
Jamantra.
Nisha, Jamantra, weigh in. Anybody else who's watching and don't want to weigh in, it's time for you to weigh in. How can women recognize when a man is struggling?
My father, rest in peace, is not with me anymore, but I believe he had undiagnosed mental illness. Even maybe, yeah, and also my husband, and I can see like for my father, he would be real snappy. Like he would be like if he wanted, he would be real snappy, loud, or he would be really extra sensitive. Like my dad was one who wasn't afraid to share his emotions and his feelings. He would even cry sometimes. But my dad was like abused as a child as well. But then he also was abusive to my mother and myself. Like that kind of behavior, it was sick. But I forgave him, and we had no I had no ill malice or will towards my father when he passed away. As a matter of fact, I'm a straight up daddy's girl. But I think I was trained to recognize that being in an abusive household. Like, oh, he tripping. Let me just, oh, he loud or he had a bad day. I'm reading the room, and I carried that into my marriage, as a victim of abuse, like reading the room. And sometimes it's to my default because I'm like, you okay? You all right? You okay? You all right? And like, I'm good. Like, and that kind of is a irritant. Could be an irritant. That could be one of those to answer that other question prior to, like, what support looks like versus hurtful. Yeah. Because like I'm always trying to make sure everything is okay. Am I like, and that's coming from an abuse situation. So the question was, how can women recognize when a man is struggling? Know him for sure. Like I know my husband, so I know like, okay, it's something on his mind. Oh, he upset about this. I try to beat it to the punch. Let me fill up these waters because I don't want to hear it. Let me do this because I don't want, then it's all fussing at the kids and they ain't even there, yelling through the house, slamming doors, all the things. And that's because it's done got to this point of irritability. And it's struggling. It could not even be a kid thing. It can be a bill thing, but it's projecting in this manner. I don't know if I answered the question correctly. How can women recognize when a man is struggling? Yeah, just by knowing them. I knew my dad, I know my husband, and I know when it's something that's bothering them. But sometimes I don't because he can mask it really well too and be like, it's okay. But then I can see him drifting off. And like, okay, I know you ain't okay. Let's talk about it. That's it.
All right, I'm going to go here. Then I'm going to ask some questions for you guys. To go through life and be misunderstood by everyone you choose to put first, and in return have no one whom really sees the pain a man go through is just insane when we are the ones. Tanessa, it would take getting to know who he is, truly the essence of his heart. Mm-hmm. Then when the nature of he is, his behavior change, you can see it even in his silence.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were trying to say,
yeah,
right?
like
when
you gotta know
somebody,
him. Yeah.
You can see when those changes happen.
Yeah. And I kind of answered all of that in my talk.
All right. So for George and Deon, what signs have you noticed in yourself or in other men when they're under pressure? Oh, for you too, out there in the chat world.
Signs of, be more specific with signs. signs in myself.
Yeah, like what when you're under pressure, what do you notice about you that changes or that bubbles up to the top? Or that you even sink down, right?
Yeah. And do you even notice it?
Or do you even notice
Because
it?
sometimes it can be, you could be oblivious. Like, what's wrong with me? Nothing wrong with me. You think about like, okay, well, maybe it was something wrong with me.
Yeah. And I can start with that too. For me, I do notice that I guess it's fight or flight, right? Either I'm gonna take it like, I put this pressure on myself, I don't gotta worry about it. I'm gonna be like, gotta get it done, we gotta go now. You know what I mean? I got that military mindset too. Like, all this had to be done 15 minutes earlier before, you know what I mean? Like that whole, let's walk this thing down the line and let's get it done. And then when that's not happening, I'm irritable, right? I'm anxious, and I'm quick triggered, right? When I got plans and the plans aren't going the way that I had because I'm for whatever reason that's happening.
I concur. That sounds. I don't have anything really different, and my details will be different. But essentially speaking, that's kind of the same thing. Just shaken down and compressed. It's just kind of you kind of get into that mode. Especially, well, part of my purpose when what makes my career work well for me is that I'm preparatory. If I see this coming, I'm gonna prep for it. I'm not gonna keep driving straight and I see the pothole. And I'm gonna swerve and I'm gonna stay that way until I see that that's past me. So I'm preparing for things as it's coming up, but it's just some things that just come up that you can't prepare for, and so those things set me off the most. Those are the things that are just kind of get me like, whoa. And when those things happen, I take a step back because I used to be a person that would go, like you said, fight or flight. I would fight first, as soon as it came in my way.
Right.
And a lot of those responses cost me things that I didn't want them to cost me.
Good.
So what happened was I learned to, when that came, it was just kind of like, okay. And then so what that does is it kind of feeds what we're talking about as far as the mental health portion of it, because you had to take that, buffer it, dumb it down, make it not seem like it affects you because of where you might be and what you have to do, suppress it, drop it to the side, and then try to deal with it all at the same time. You don't get a chance to stop and deal with it. You don't get a chance to stop, grab it, hand it to somebody else and have them deal with it. It's yours. So all of that happened at the same time is crazy, and I think it actually adds to those boxes.
That's good. That's good. You got to throw it in your backpack or put it in your pockets. You can't get rid of it, right? It's not going anywhere.
When can you unload and then not be detrimental to everybody around you? Like, you don't want to unload. You just want to
on a basketball court. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the unloading portion, and it's part of why we're having this conversation, it comes with understanding as a whole, not just from other men and not just from a man's wife or his girlfriend. It comes from everybody as a whole, from the community to your kids to everybody in your circle, just creating that environment where you don't have to be that all the time. And you can kind of unload little by little daily without having to drop it all at once. So it's kind of like you got a lot of pressure, and it's kind of like you can go somewhere with your homeboy and
seep a little bit out. Yeah.
And before it just combusts.
Yeah.
But the structure and the system doesn't allow that really for us. So that's why when you mentioned the shy, I forgot all about that. But they actually created that men's circle where these dudes literally take the time out. They come sit around. They all different ages. They all different points in life and everything. And they just come and unload. But the most important part is no judgment. Not having to be judged for it, because that's what, that's a lot of what keeps us from sharing in the first place.
That's good.
I want to see what Mike had to say, because I really do like the thing he said before. I wanted to address that, but he does that a lot of stuff.
He said, I got a question.
Before that, he said more.
I get in a super focus and charge at it head on. Not to see progress or steps toward the goal would drive me crazy as hell. Definitely. I got a question, he said. At what time did it come about that we can be okay mentally and still provide and be functional when you have no energy to function.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
That's deep right there. Where does that energy come from?
Right. Right.
Oh no, deep.
This guy right here,
man. Men don't say that they're overwhelmed. Men ain't gonna come out and say I'm overwhelmed. Instead, they become quiet, irritable, distracted, distant, and overworked. And I think that's on us a little bit.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right. And I think that comes from the pressures that we're under, societal, familial, and all of that,
That's
occupational, all
That's
of those things, because, and that's what we're talking about. We need to have that space to be able to do that, but it's not given.
That's
and here's the thing. What I started doing was, like I said, when that stuff happened with my dad and he passed away, I took a whole different focus. And I actually started taking that time. That's actually when I picked up photography. I started working more towards my focus. I started trying to figure me out, because once you start, like I said, having them conversations with all my clients, you get to a point where you're knee deep in your family, but your family's gonna they're gonna go their separate ways.
right.
And then when they left, when the dust settled, who are you?
That's right.
And if you don't know who you are, you can get lost in all that. And you still got to deal with all them boxes that you didn't pack.
That's right.
You know what I
That's
mean? And what do you do with that?
That's good.
I think about my sons. I have 4 sons, all grown men. The baby is 19. But I think about my sons, and I am very emotional with them. Like, come here, just lay on my lap, talk to me, cuddle, kiss, all the things. Like, because I'm only child for one, and plus I don't want them to have to feel like, man up, you ain't you mama baby. Even though I'm not gonna, he's a man, but I still want him to know that this is a safe place. All them to know that. But I still find that my sons do this same thing as far as when they feel overwhelmed, quiet, irritable, distracted, distant, when I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. Real short and quick, I'm all right, but it's actually something bothering them.
That's right.
And they weren't raised to even be that way. They were raised to be open. So I think it's some pressure that is put on your own self, to be like this. Like, no, I'm good. That's us. I can't. That's us. Yeah.
That's even though it wasn't raised like that, I think that's what society put on men, regardless. But I tell you what is a safe place. Out of the Mud Inc. is a safe place. Thanks to James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, George F. Grundy, and our guy Larry Lott, we can have these conversations and come to healing right here at Out of the Mud Inc. So thank you guys for providing this platform.
If I could speak on what you're saying about your sons, as men, I think it's one of those natural constructs of like, look, I can't put this on you, Ma. I'm a man. So it's not for you to concern yourself about. Let me figure it out. I might talk to Dad a little bit about it, but I gotta make some decisions. And then when I mess up, I'll come in and ask you for some money to help me out.
Right. Can you cash at me?
Right.
Everywhere, like, but all my sons are different, but they are the same in that way of being like, aloof. Like, no, I got it. Except for Josiah, when it comes to girls, he gonna be like, Mom, and she hurt me, and she do the do. He gonna come to me with it when it comes to girls, but when it comes to like anything else, he got it. So yeah.
It's also a learned behavior too.
Yeah.
So so what you've pushed and what you put in them is there.
Yeah.
And everything else, but they're gonna look at who looks like them.
That's right.
And more of what they see is more so, because what's the saying? It goes, do what I say, not what I do. But it's actually the other way around. They do more of what they see than what you say.
Right.
You can tell them don't do this, but if you smoking every day and you tell them don't smoke,
that's true.
They're gonna grow up smoking. So it's a learned
do
behavior, and it's innate because they just kind of watch it as it goes.
Yep. That's true.
That's good. We getting here towards the end, so I got some rapid fire questions real fast. What's one thing men need more of?
I don't know if I want George or Mike to answer. The way George's face looked, I was
Wow.
Want me to say?
He said, hold up.
no, George, you don't have to say. George, Mike, y'all don't have to add it.
He said, well.
Well, then, hold on.
I say safe places like the Shy, like groups, like
Absolutely.
where men that you can trust to be able to have these conversations with, and be vulnerable, and no judgment zones like that.
And sometimes you don't even have to have these conversations just to be able to release what your fellas feel good sometimes, right? Just to be able to talk about other things helps get stress off of other categories.
And seeing that y'all are emotionally intelligent in this situation, when your people come to you, like I've seen it maybe years back, a situation where we got this cousin that kind of always is going through something, and I've seen you kind of like be like, I ain't finna do. You shut it, like I'm like call him back. He was crying, and you was like, nah, he'll be all right. Like just like you said, they check on you one time, but not following through. Like you called him, you talked to him that one time, and he was like, oh, you okay, man? He like, yeah, I'm okay. He's like, okay, well, all right then. I'm like, he was not okay. And you're like, all right, nigga, be okay.
And even in that, when he calls me and asks me for advice, I'm very solution based. So I'm giving you do this, and do that. And sometimes that's not what he wanted to hear. He just needs to get it off of him.
Right.
I was about to say estrogen. That's the same thing we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that was kind of right. But he is the cousin that wears skirts, so
don't do that. He probably watching. We love you.
Kilts.
But you know what?
The views and opinions.
But so much of him I understand, because it'd be like,
he be getting girls in them kilts too.
I understand. Oh, your rapid fire. Okay, so I'm the only one who answered that, but you guys are the men. What's one thing men need more of?
More support.
Support.
And whatever that looks like to that man, whether it's a support person, whether it's a group, whether it's somewhere to safely land at, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your family, it's an understanding that this is a real thing. I'm not making this up. This isn't something that is just like a hot topic that's going to go away like it's on Twitter. This is something that's real, and I need you to understand that. Even if it's your boys or your daughters or your kids, you're going to be an adult one day. You're going to have to deal with the man one way or the other. You're going to be a man one day. And at the end of the day, are you going to be somebody that's going to add to this? Or are you going to be somebody that's going to help take care of this? Are you going to be somebody that somebody can come to and talk to? Or are you going to keep perpetuating the normal and just kind of pushing it off to the side and telling you to do X, Y, Z, and ABC? And just be in that safe space and allowing yourself to be able to help another. Another.
That's good.
That's good.
I'm piggybacking off him, like going back to my last relationship that I was in. She got me because I was regular. I was a regular at Page's bookstore before it became common, and I would go there, and that was my safe space. I would just go read some books and sit there and everything. And I was going through some stuff. And the woman that worked there at the time, we didn't know each other well, but we had conversations. And she stopped me and said, "What's wrong with you? Something's not right." So I'm good. No, something's not right. How can I help you? And that right there, it was shattered all kinds. I'm like, this woman don't even know me like the women that I'm around that know me forever. And you asking what's wrong and how can I help? Wow. I'm like, I'm in love. Don't even know what that look like right now. So
just show interest in you though, and care.
But to be seen,
yeah,
and not even asked to be seen.
Right.
That caught me. So things like that, just seeing somebody, that's deep. It might be cheesy to some folks, but it's not cheesy to me.
Yeah,
to be able,
everybody want to be seen. Right. Yeah,
I think this this segment could have been called "Do You See the Men in Your Life?" Right?
That's good.
Yeah, that's huge.
Couple more questions before we get out of here. What's one healthy outlet for stress?
I don't know, George. Anything active,
Well,
I cover that for you, George.
Well-
Anything active for
well,
sure.
anything attached to your purpose too. That's a huge one for
That's
me.
good.
Is trying to get young men and young ladies, but
Mhm.
especially young men to who are you? What do you like? What do you do? So anything attached to your purpose is going to give you that fulfillment. Like for me, like I said, when I first started photography, it was during COVID. I would literally just grab my camera and drive somewhere and just walk. I didn't think I didn't shot every park. And I didn't walk through the downtown like 1,001 times, just going and just taking pictures, just to kind of feed that creative part of me. But anything attached to your purpose, and your purpose can be multi-purpose.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't think that. They think, well, I'm this. No, you're more than that. You know how you're a multitude of things. So anything attached to your purpose, I think, is the answer to that for me.
That's good.
That's real good.
I didn't know how to answer that question until what you just said triggered something in me. What I do now, I love to ride my bike. I absolutely love to just ride my bike around Forest Park. But in that love, I seen little kids in my neighborhood and was like, hey, I want to build a community, and we got to start with the young people first. Let's get bikes for them too. And so that's what I do now in the neighborhood. Kids come to my house, I fix up bikes and get them bikes. But then that is a safe place that makes me feel well. So I wouldn't even recognize that if you didn't say that. So thank you.
Stuff like this, giving people the platform to be able to express themselves, and open up to spread this to the greater community.
Nice.
Yep.
And I do got 2 more questions, but I'm going to throw this in right now because this platform is open up almost every day of the week. On Sunday, you got Sassy Tea at 6 p.m. with Stephanie and Tara Lisa. On Mondays, which is today, you got Lessons with Larry at 6:30 with co-host Stephanie Winfrey and Juice the Truth and Money Mike. On Mondays, tonight, on Monday nights, you got His and Her Mondays Matter with my wife and I. On Tuesdays, George get to take a rest. On Wednesdays, we got Red Alert RBT Snaps and Chats with our cousin, Tara Lisa McBride. On Wednesdays, Juice the Truth show up at 7 as your host. On Thursdays, it's Connected and Protected with Daru Mitchell at 9 p.m. And also on Thursdays, it's Thursdays with the Third. Those times are to be determined. And Monday through Sunday, you can always have James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, drop in and have his show going as well. All right, so the next question. Who has been a positive role model in your life?
Oh, that's easy for me. That's actually, I mean, in lieu of Father's Day coming up, which we never even talked about on Men's Wednesday. We never talked about that, but I looked up some numbers for that. It's absolutely crazy. Mother's Day, Father's Day is no real comparison. But my dad. I honestly don't know where I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting here talking to y'all. I'm nowhere near the person I am had my dad decided to just kind of go on his way. Nice. I'm glad he stayed around. Yeah. And a lot of the examples and things he showed me a lot of what not to do too. Now, you know what I mean? He showed me a lot of what not to do, told me not to do it, and some of the stuff I didn't. So. Right. But for the most part, he showed me the principles of the foundation of a man and gave me something to build on and showed me a lot of the character stuff that I carried with me today. And those things, that's my road. That's the first one. There was nobody else.
And shout out to the importance of a man being in your household, right?
Absolutely.
Young men need that. Absolutely. Let's start with that. Young men need men in their household.
And women do too.
And women do too.
Absolutely.
Definitely. George, you want to weigh in on that one? Positive role.
It's going to be similar, but it's going to be my parents. You know, they just had their 50th anniversary, April 24th. And I just had my birthday on the 13th of this month. So we were together.
Happy belated.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry. So it was just us, just me and my parents, hanging out, riding around, went on and hanging. So they are highly influential in my life and motivating and things of that nature of sport. And we have a very open communication. I don't I'm like, one of us is gonna die soon. So I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and y'all either gonna be mad or y'all gonna talk about it.
Right.
So,
Right.
wow. So that's hey, that's
Yeah.
I got it honest, you know. So even though they're conservative when it comes to the Christian construct, I'm respectful on how I speak. Respectful ish depends on the subject, but like if it's some things, some family stuff or things that I want to know, they have the right to not tell me. But I'm saying I'm not about to sit here and go through life and you gone and I'm like, I wonder. No, I'm not wondering nothing.
Right.
And if you got some questions about me, if I did, you think I did this girl wrong or did this, that, and the third, you wonder if I stole it, ask me. Don't be sitting here thinking I'm not an angel, I'm your son. And we are human beings and adults, and let's have those conversations before we go and then we regret not talking to each other.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of positive role models, not so positive male role models in my life. My grandfather, my stepfather, my father-in-law, my uncles, cousins. I think it is that both gamut, learning what to do and then what not to do, right, as well. Yeah, but one of never really had a mentor, but there's a guy that I watched from this city and he said something to me that just definitely was positive in my life. James Avery, shout out to James Avery. Good man. A couple of things he said. He was
Commissioner.
He was one of the first families in Flint to move to Grand Blanc, and actually had crosses burned in his yard. Now I think they are or will be naming the street after him in Grand Blanc, which is crazy. But he told me this because he was in so many places and so many doors was opening up for him, and he said, Willie, these doors opening up for me, but they're not for me to go in. They're for me to hold the door open for you guys to come through. And that stuck with me, and that's kind of been my mission. Yeah,
that's huge.
That's good.
Last question, going out. As a young man could be listening to this today, tomorrow, or this content is going to live forever, right? What advice would you give a young man today?
I'll go first so you can end it up. My advice to a young person or a young man specifically is do what you have to do so nobody can tell you what to do. Make sure your decisions are based on progress, based on thinking things through and patience. Be anxious for nothing. And even if you don't have the answer or you don't know what to do, give yourself the time and the grace to know that you don't have to. Now, if you're somebody that's isolating you by yourself, remember there are always resources. You just got to be open enough to figure out what those resources are, even if it's just a person you just met. That person may be a resource for you legally. So I'm saying you have to believe in yourself enough and keep that childhood mentality of belief, of not thinking things are going to fall apart, but that like you imagine these things are going to become reality so you can get to the next step. And as you become an adult, full grown, don't allow yourself to lose your childish like thought process to keep on believing and accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish.
That's good. All right, Dan, we're gonna close it out with you, brother.
I'm gonna say dream, believe, and work.
That's good.
Because you have to have a dream and you have to see yourself somewhere. And you also have to start walking towards that. Number two, you have to have the belief in order that you can actually accomplish these things. And you also have to now have the work ethic to actually do the work to get to those things. And by that, I mean, you have to look at yourself in the mirror every day and figure out who you are, what you want to do, and everything else, and be able to absorb information and figure out where you want to go, how you're going to use it. Because all the information that you get, because I think a lot of our young men are overboard with information and they just don't know what to do with it. They think that there's some of that stuff you're supposed to throw away.
That's right.
You're supposed to sort through it kind of real fast, like we were just talking about as men. You kind of develop that skill as you get older as a man to kind of take that and
That's right. That's
I
right.
only need this.
That's it.
But imagine had we got that sooner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Imagine had we got that concept when we were 12.
Right.
How much further we'd be. You know what I mean? So focus, lock in, do that work, and have that belief in yourself to do the right things and walk that way towards that goal. But because there's a lot of our young men out here that's walking around here goalless.
That's right. That's
just day to day.
Oh.
Don't know what they want to do, how they want to do it, where they. So and when you find out who you are through your purpose, that gives you at least a set way to go, and that can actually walk in that direction.
That's good. And I'm this was a good show. Thank you guys for weighing in. Men's mental health is absolutely critical for the health of our community. And if you're a young man, if you're an old man, if you're a middle-aged man, and you're dealing with some things, you can definitely reach out to me. And I'm pretty sure these brothers as well. We are here for each other. It starts with that, right? We got to be willing to be here for each other.
Absolutely.
Because we understand each other more than anybody else can. Thank you, guys. Is there any last words from you, my love, before we close out?
Yes. Tonight isn't about making men victims. It's about recognizing that men are human beings created by God with real emotions, real struggles, and real needs. Strong men still need support. Strong men still need prayer. Strong men still need people who care enough to ask how they are doing and stay long enough to hear the answer. So you kind of already said this part. If you're a man watching tonight, we want you to know that carrying everything by yourself isn't strength. God never intended it for us to walk through life alone.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us once again for His and Her Monday Matters, produced by Out of the Mud Inc., George Family Man Grundy, Larry Lott, and our guy James, the greatest Mayfield.
Thank you all for joining.